Hey guys, what's going on? This is Rapt, aka Godma. Finally, I have a placement match to show you people, the players of which are going to be myself once again. Rapt is the blue Zerg over here in the north corner on Steps of War. Certainly a map that I'm no stranger to. I'm facing off against this red Terran player being controlled by Caps. So right off the bat, the stakes are very high. I also really have my work cut out for me. I mean, that's no easy feat to destroy capital letters, all capital letters everywhere in all their glory. It's going to be very difficult. But right now I am sending out a very early scouting drone. Actually sending out my first scouting drone at 10 supply. That's it will, however, be enough to... I have the option of putting pressure on this SCV, as it looks like I'm now just doing that. Trying to attack click that SCV. Caps needs to send out a worker to try to protect his SCV, or else risks his supply depot going down. Looks like, thankfully for the Terran player, the supply depot was complete before I was able to kill that SCV. A little bit of a patrol dance here, almost taunting Caps, if you will, but it's also going to be watching over... Actually, instead of placing his barracks, Caps has 300. I really, I'm just going to go ahead and say right now that I really hope I win this game, because Caps has made quite a few errors right off the bat. He's also sitting at about 300 minerals very early in this game. So hopefully I'm able to punish capital letters for these slight but significant blemishes here at his front door. His wall off is complete, not a bad decision, especially considering he knows he's facing a Zerg player. Still though, Caps is, I think, yeah, I'm not sure, but I think this was a placement match, so it's hard to say exactly what leagues these players are coming from. But, oh, actually this wall off is not complete. Small units can squeeze through here in between the supply depot and barracks. Caps just now realizing that, it looks like, and he's going to be correcting that little mistake. Two idle SCVs here. Once again, I hope I can capitalize on these errors coming in from Caps. Switching to the worker count, I am thankfully beating the Terran player on the worker count, as it should be as well, considering that as a Zerg player, you need a bunch of drones to succeed in any game. An early engineering bay here from Caps, no reason for that really. You know, engineering bays, you guys know what they do, and you know that there's no place for them here this early in the Terran build order. Another error from Caps, he has not made his orbital command, although it has been ready for some time now. My queen is in play, trying to drop those larvae as quickly as possible. And I now have my second hatchery almost halfway completed. Two Zerglings here watching my front door just in case Caps wanted to send a Reaper, although right now it would be very late and it might even defeat the purpose. There's that orbital command. Second gas from Caps. It's possible he wants to work up the tech tree. I don't know about the spine crawler. I may be planning on uprooting it and moving it to my natural as soon as I have the creep for it. Dropping this creep tumor now to try to entertain maybe that exact thought. So not a tech lab on this barracks, we have a reactor, so yeah, I can't remember how this game worked out, but I'll be very disappointed with myself if I do not end up defeating this player. Yeah, so I am slowly inching the spine crawler here to my natural. I was lucky that the Terran didn't attack while I was transferring that unit. I also have an evolution chamber coming in. So it's possible that I will be building a dedicated ground army. Scan going down on my base, he's not going to see any roach war, and he's going to see this evolution chamber, so... I don't think he knows about my natural. Yeah, he doesn't. So all he knows is really that I have an evolution chamber going up and that I have layer tech in the works. Man, it used to be back in the good old days that you could hit E on the keyboard and it would switch to the perspective of everyone, but right now it seems to be bugged. and the only hotkeys that work for the spectator are 1 and 2. Not a big deal. Second spine crawler in play here on this natural. I need to work to saturate that position a little bit more. Transferring 3 drones to this extractor. Continuing to pump drones. Actually, I could afford to transfer, I don't know, 2 or 3 over here to this natural position. Either way, I have a lot of Zerglings. There's a scan on my expansion. So, yeah, pretty mediocre play from Caps. That being said, he's got a factory and a starport, continuing to pump Marines. I really regret that I'm not getting in his face more, and I don't usually pump this amount of Zerglings, especially, it's not really good to keep them in your base either. They are a scout unit, and they're a lightweight, versatile unit, and they don't do much good to you inside your base, so I'm wondering if I'm letting this game slip away from me a little bit. One of the things about Starcraft 2 is that even if your opponent does make a lot of mistakes, if you don't capitalize on them, you don't capitalize on them. Actually, using that evolution chamber to make a spore crawler just for the detection and I guess in anticipation of any banshees, which right now are quite possible, especially considering that the starport is in fact pumping out a banshee. I also failed to mention that I have a Hydralisk in the works and an infestation pit, so hopefully that will be my saving grace. My main attack army right now is these speedlings. I know that Caps has a front door completed, so it could be argued that that's why I'm not pushing out and trying to end him right now. Also, I can't really expect to end a Terran player with Zerglings alone. This game actually would have been a great game for Banelings. If I was a more experienced, more professional Zerg player, I would have known to drop a Baneling nest, and I probably could have melted his front door with just half Banelings, half Zerglings in this main group. There's my first 2 Hydralisks. Now I'm feeling a little bit better about myself. Distributing some creep here as much as I can on my end of the map. Also being a little bit irritating here, and I'm denying any early command center being dropped at this particular location. For those of you that don't know, distributing or generating creep, to be specific, in a location does prevent races that aren't Zerg from placing buildings in that area. There's a siege tank. There's 2 banshees here with cloak. Caps would be doing much better to send this in my base instead of having these idols. He invested in that cloak tech, and he invested in this starport banshee tech, and yet he's just letting these units sit here. Maybe he wants to wait for these 2 additional banshees, and at that point it's possible that he will move out. That queen has enough energy for a spell. This one is sitting at 102 energy, so I have 2 queens in play. Trying to liquidate that energy, although at this stage in the game it's becoming difficult. I am food locked at 68 supply. That's no good. Hopefully I have some overlords queued up. Thankfully I do.